Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for listening to another episode of Victory Visionz Audio. I'm Gabe Fowler, owner, videographer, host, I guess, of the show. Really, today I just wanted to talk about why I got into doing videography in the first place. I know a lot of people don't even know how I ended up here and how I just popped up out of nowhere, it seemed like. So really for me, what started it was I actually had another brand called Fit by Fowler, which was my personal training fitness brand. I was really into that. And so I always knew I had to make content for it and had to get out there, get my name out there doing that sort of thing. So it was just easy to take what I learned from doing that and take it into something else. And so as I started making YouTube videos for that, I got really into the editing part of it. And I was like, man, this is really cool. So it just kind of stuck with me. And then I always like sports and seeing all the cool sports highlights and seeing, Ball is Life and Overtime and all these other big companies that are doing the same thing. So I was like, well, I might as well go ahead and do it myself too, because I just love being around sports, and me having a sports background, playing sports just all my life, it just made sense to just go out and get close to sports any way I could, because I couldn't become a D1 athlete and go big time and that sort of thing. So it's just like the next best thing was to get on the sidelines, was to be a cameraman or something like that. So that's when I decided I'm gonna just try to learn this stuff. So all it was start off using my iPhone actually, and I think I did my first 2 videos just on an iPhone. If you go back and look for the SIGET basketball videos, the first one actually was just all iPhone on a gimbal. For those who don't know, it's kind of just like a little stabilizer, just keeps your phone from shaking when you're recording. But really, I'd use that first. And then I realized I need to be able to zoom in to see the athletes better and stuff like that. So I ended up getting a cheap camera. My mom actually got it for me, so shout out to her. She got a little cheap camera. And then, it was only and sorry, when I say cheap, it was like $600 for a little Amazon bundle that came with 2 lenses, the case that I always carry my stuff in, came with all kinds of stuff. But basically that on the camera side is cheap. Most cameras can go for thousands of dollars, and me, I'm a cheap person, so I don't really go for all that. But anyways, so I've got that camera, started filming with the camera that I still use now. So I started with my friends' fraternity games, kind of went from there. And I'm gonna talk more about just the whole progress and process of how I got here, but that's kind of just where I started off, was just filming my friends' games at ODU. So that's really where it began, and then I just sort of built up from there. But I'm gonna talk about it more. But I don't know, man, this process has been crazy. I'm really excited about everything that's been going on. As far as the name Victory Visionz Media, it was one of those things where I was kind of just sitting around writing names down, ideas of what I wanted to call myself, that kind of thing. It wasn't really anything real sentimental or anything like that. To me, Victory Visionz just sounds like when you're thinking about how you want the outcome to be, how you think about how you want your life to be, or the game, or whatever it is you're doing, you think about victory visions. You have visions of victory, of success, of accomplishment. So to me, it was just victory visions just sounded empowering. And then of course the visions, as far as having a camera, that sort of twist to it. The whole the Panther logo and that sort of thing, that wasn't really anything tied to anywhere else. It was sort of just I wanted a animal sort of logo, something to just tie with it. And so I got that together. Somehow came up with the idea. At first it was an iPhone on a quote unquote like stabilizer gimbal looking sort of thing. But then once I stopped using the iPhone, I switched the logo to like an actual camera. So I had that made by a guy on this website called Fiverr. It was just literally like this guy from Indonesia literally made it for, I think it was like $12, and I think I tipped him like an extra $3 or something like that. But it was really simple. Got it from him and just rolled with it. I mean, I don't think the name really matters to a certain extent. I mean, of course your name, you know, how you name your brand matters, but at the same time it's like you build the name doesn't build you. So, you know, whatever it is out there, it was kind of like, you know, you just build it just based on your work, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I went with that. But again, it was just like Victory Visionz just sounds like, you know, you're always thinking about victory, you're always thinking about success, so it's just Victory Visionz, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of how that came about. But I mean, again, I'm just kind of using this episode to just sort of talk about why I created, how I got here, and a little bit of just like my history. I guess going deeper into the history, I don't have any kind of school background on how to do video or anything like that. This has literally just been straight trial and error, going on YouTube a lot and just seeing how other people are doing it. For real, like it was just like you just learn. Like I'm one of those people that I was never that great in school. I was just kind of like, I was more of a hands-on person. So for me, it was just go out, film, figure it out, go back on YouTube, learn a little something, come back and film some more. So that's how I've been doing it. I have no history as far as school-wise, or taking any like detailed classes or anything like that. No courses, just straight YouTube and figuring it out myself. And I think that's, I mean, I'll talk more about that because I mean, I think that's just a deep thing about like you can create your own path. You can rewrite who you are. It's like you don't have to go a certain career route just because you went to school and you're stuck with doing that. So I'm gonna talk about that more later, but so that's kind of how I got to learning how to do this stuff. I'm gonna cut this episode a little short. Just wanted to talk about that real quick. I'm definitely gonna be having more episodes in the future. My name is Gabe Fowler. This is Victory Visionz Audio, and I want to thank you for listening.